Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel, Lydia Lost the Plot. I'm Lydia, and today what I really should have greeted you with was bonjour. That's right, I'm cultured. That is probably the only French I know. Bibliothèque, supermarché. Let's just say, yeah, I'm not gifted with language. So, I thought that today we would delve into some French books that I really enjoyed in celebration of the Olympics. Now, I would have gone for sporting books, but the only sport book that I enjoyed was Headshot by Rita Bullwinkle, and I've done nothing but talk about that. So it would have just been me talking about Headshot again, and as much as I love it, I understand it's getting a little bit much. So I thought I'd go for some French books instead, or books that feature France. And there's just 4 today. It's not going to be a particularly long video, but if you're feeling a bit French, you know, if you fancy a baguette, then if the Olympics has got you in the mood for that kind of stuff, then I thought maybe this video would help direct you to some good French books. So the first book that I'm going to talk about today is At Night All Blood is Black by David Diop. It's translated from the French by, put it on the cover, man, by Anna Moscovakis. And it was shortlisted. In fact, I think it might have won the International Book Prize. But I read this, and it's written from the perspective of a Senegalese soldier fighting in the war, and he just slowly loses his mind. It's phenomenal. There's a thing about fingers in it that makes me still like terrified, but he's such a fantastic writer, and the translation is so good. It catches this wonderful atmosphere, this slightly oppressive, scary, slightly off-kilter vibe, and it's just so good, and it kept me enthralled. I was a little bit nervous about it because International Book Prize were quite literary, hello, but it's so accessible, so much fun to just dive into and get your teeth into. It's disgusting, a little bit grotesque, but it's honest, and I just absolutely loved this book and could not stop talking about it when I read it. So if you haven't got this on your radar yet, then do pick it up. It's only tiny. All of the books, oh my gosh, I nearly hit myself in the face. Did you see that? All of the books that I'm going to talk about today are quite little ones. So, I mean, make it a project. Get some French reads and read some little French reads before the Olympics finishes. So, and who knows what that closing ceremony is going to be like, judging by the opening. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Heatwave by Victor Jestin, and it's translated by Sam Taylor. Well done for having it on the cover, Scribner. And this, oh my gosh, when you want a really good book for summer, for that oppressive nature of summer heat, this is incredible. It is called Heatwave for a reason, but it's so compelling. The characters are richly drawn. There's a kind of thriller-esque feel to it, but it is still very character driven, and I don't know, it had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. And I think it's really hard to get books that are like that, because I get bored really easily. And this book is just, again, it's teeny tiny, and it's just so good. But this, on the back, I'll read you a little bit of it, and it says, "Oscar is dead because I watched him die and did nothing." Ooh, right? I mean, it's got a bonkers cover. Look at this rabbit. I thought you'd be interested in the rabbit. But yeah, if you're looking for something that's a little bit scary, a little bit darker, and matches the weather we're currently having, which is frankly bonkers, then Heatwave is the French book for you. I'm keeping it on peace. The next book is a recent read for me that is translated from the French by Jessica Moore, and it is Eastbound by Maylis to Kerengal. Don't be put off by the slightly dull cover. The contents of this book are fantastic. I do go a little bit more into detail about it in my monthly wrap up for July, and I do delve a little bit more into it than I will today. But it's a wonderful story about two completely diametrically opposed people who meet on a train. They're both running away from something. It's kind of Hitchcockian, and they both look at each other and think, okay, well, we're in a situation, can we get each other out of it? And you are so tense. From the very beginning, I was so tense. One of the characters is a soldier trying to get away from being conscripted, and it is terrifying. It's so scary, and I don't know, the reality of it and the beauty of some of the writing, it's just unbelievable. It's so good. But let me see if I can find you a really nice quote, because honestly, it's just so good. And I think it's one of them books that the more I get away from it and the more I give it a bit of time, it sort of it grows and grows in my heart, because it's so good. Let me just read you this bit. Honestly, I can't resist. So it doesn't give anything away, don't worry. It's just a little bit of her descriptive powers. The lake is alternately the inland sea and the sky inversed, the chasm and the sanctuary, the abyss and purity, tabernacle and diamond. It is the blue eye of the earth, the beauty of the world, and soon swaying in unison with the other passengers. Right? Just gorgeous. It's just all so gorgeous. It's just beautiful. And I don't know, I mean, give Jessica Moore, the translator, an award, because I mean, I hope she did get an award, because this is brilliant. But it's just so beautifully done. And there are colloquialisms in there that she places in there that are obviously English colloquialisms or English language colloquialisms. How many times can I say colloquialism? But she places them in throughout the text, and it just adds to the reality of it. You don't feel like it's translated. You don't feel like it's you know, that anything's got lost in the translation. It feels, if anything, richer for being, you know, for the choices that Jessica Moore and Maylis de Kerengal have made in terms of trying to get it to feel like these characters speak our language. It's just honestly beautiful from start to finish. Teeny tiny, yes. So if you are looking for something that you could literally read in a day that will just blow your mind, just saying. Now, the last book strictly is not French. I'm breaking my own rules. I mean, I see a rule, I break it. But it's predominantly set in Paris and set in France. So I thought I could cheat a little bit. Just a little bit. I mean, come on. So the last book I'm going to recommend is Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin. Not cry when I talk about it. So I have spoken about this again in my monthly wrap up. It's just so phenomenal. And it's just, when you think about Paris and you think about sort of what you imagine it to be like, James Baldwin captures Paris, captures France in such a wonderful way, in such a beautiful way, without kind of glamorizing it or making it, you know, or we're seeing it through rose tinted glasses. It's very realistic, you know, and yet it still keeps its sort of romantic feel, and it's sort of Giovanni's room itself. It feels like, you know, this microcosm, and Baldwin writes that with such deft skill. The story itself is heartbreaking, so, you know, if you want to weep, this will be the book. You know, if you're watching the volleyball at the Olympics, I'm trying to keep on point here, at the Olympics in France, and it's too joyful and you want some misery, here it is. You know I love misery, and misery loves company, so come join me. But yeah, that is the final slightly French book that I will be recommending today. I loved all of these books. They're all fantastic. You know I don't recommend a book that I don't love, and I really enjoyed all of these, particularly At Night All Blood is Black, and of course Giovanni's Room. But yeah, fantastic books. Now I think I'm gonna have to go and do something French. Not sure what, although having watched Simone Biles on do some gymnastics, I do feel like I should cartwheel off. No, I shouldn't, should I? I'm going to break something. But I hope that this week is treating you as beautifully as it should, and that you have enjoyed this little sojourn into French literature. I thoroughly believe that I could be an Olympian, and we know that's not true. So I'll stick to the books. But if you've enjoyed this video, please do like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because you never know, I might suddenly become really good at the javelin or something, and then I can show you. It's not going to happen, is it? But still. Anyway, I thank you so much for being here and for joining me today, and I hope you have a lovely week. Bye bye. Do bookish people like sport? No, they don't. But do they like the French?